New York's mayor, as we've heard, Eric Adams, he's already asked the feds for money. Now he's getting ready to ask the state government for more money. He says the city's at risk of being decimated. So just watch this.
We have created a funnel. All of the bordering states have now took the funnel right to New York City. New York City is the economic engine of this entire state and country. If you decimate this city, you're going to decimate the foundation of what's happening. Look at Chicago, Los Angeles, Houston, and now you're hearing the governor of Massachusetts.
All right, Robert Ortt is the New York State Senate Minority Leader, and he joins me now. So, will the Republicans in New York State approve any money for the migrants in New York City?
Thank you for having me, Stuart. No, the Republican conference in the Senate, and I hope my colleagues in the Assembly and across the state, we just voted on a budget, a $229 billion state budget that included $1 billion specifically to New York City to deal with this crisis. It's a crisis that is a result of the failure of Democrat open borders policies and sanctuary city policies. New York City, sanctuary city, they don't work with federal law enforcement as far as ICE and customs and immigration officials. This is what being a sanctuary city looks like. This is what open borders policies looks like. And for them to demand billions more so that the mayor and others can ship these folks all over New York State. That's what's happening, including to Western New York, where I represent, where a migrant was just charged with the rape of a woman in front of her 3-year-old child. Okay. So that's the crisis.
Yeah, that is indeed a crisis. But look, okay, are you going to try to stop the migrants from funneling out to upstate New York? Have you any way of actually stopping this?
A lot of local officials, county executives, county legislatures have issued policies, issued resolutions to try and stop the mayor or stop companies from busing these migrants to their communities. Some communities like Erie County, where the allegation of rape occurred, they have welcomed these folks. Their county executive has welcomed them. Again, this usually is following counties, cities, elected officials from Joe Biden all the way down who have said, we want to help these folks. We want to bring them here, but they don't have the money to do it. They don't have the resources to do it. And you're seeing the chaos that's ensuing.
What do you say to this? They're here. They're not going back. They are going to stay. So why not let them work? What would you say?
Well, I think allowing them to work for folks who are here who want to work, that's one thing. But what we're finding is these folks aren't working. Many of them aren't working. They're not being forced to work. They're not being made to work. They're not even being helped to work. The policy of the state of New York has been, let's find them a hotel room, let's find them a place to sleep. And that's been the end of the help that we are offering these migrants. And I would argue that if you care about the migrants, these policies should concern you as well, because how are these folks being helped? They're being bussed all over New York State. They're sleeping on the streets. They're sleeping in shelters that New Yorkers wouldn't even want to spend time in. And you know, they're not being provided an opportunity to realize the American dream. I don't think that's beneficial to the migrants, and it's certainly not beneficial to New Yorkers or Americans.
Do you want to make a forecast of where things are going? Look down the road a year or whatever, because the flow is not stopping. The flow actually continues. Right. What's New York or the city or the state, what's it going to look like a year from now?
Well, this is what we've on the Republican side have called on the mayor of New York City, the governor. If you want more money, if you want to have this discussion about providing for people who are here, we have to do something to stem the flow. Because to your point, Stuart, if we don't, even if we spend $12 billion, $100 billion, if they keep coming, it's never going to be enough. True. You're going to overrun the city. And again, it's not going to be beneficial for the folks who are coming here, some of whom are trying to find a better life, nor is it beneficial for New Yorkers or Americans who are here paying these taxes and footing the bill. And that is a real concern that I have, you have, and I know your viewers and people across the country have.
State Senator Robert Ortt, thank you very much for being with us today, sir. We're much obliged to you.
Thanks, Stuart.
Thank you, sir.